Back at Alhambra High School, Dan Wald joined by Tony Schultz tonight. Tony, good to have you with us here as we get ready for the girls' game between these teams. An exciting overtime boys game won by Alhambra 54-45. And we'll have a good look at these two teams. Here's a starting lineup for the Acalanes Dons. Molly Peterson, number 10, gets a start as their leading scorer at 11-8 per game. There's a look at the lineup, and they're actually introducing them on the floor. Rose Pally, Lindsay McPhee, KJ Crutch, and Abby Cohen. For Coach Scott Murphy in his first year as the head coach, third year with the team. Actually, 3 years as the JV coach, fourth year with the team. And there's the starters for Acalanes. Finished off by Abby Cohen, number 33. Here's the Alhambra starters. We'll take a look at them quickly, and then we'll look at them on the floor. It's Nahara, Domingo, Brandy Miller in the middle, the big 6-foot senior, 4-year starter. Tanea Sawanwan, that's a name for you, Tony, and Ali Conway. And here's the starters for Coach Mike Abusi in his 10th year here, and a great guy, fun guy to talk to. There's Sabrina Domingo, Tanea Sawanwan, and there's Brandy Miller in the middle. Brandy had 34 points, 14 rebounds the other night in a win over Camp Alindo.
Averaging nearly 20 points a game. That's saying a lot in a high school basketball game.
Our officials, Burr O'Brien.
Ooh, chilly.
He wanted me to make sure to tell you it's Burr. He wished us a happy new year. He's a good referee, and Wayne Davis. Two good officials out here tonight for this game. Here's a little bit for both teams. Tony, 7-6 are the Acalanes Dons, 1-1. Beat Los Lomas 62-57 on Friday night. Leading scorer Molly Peterson, 11.8. Also, Rose Pally and Lindsay McPhee are their big scores for Alhambra. 10-2 on the year, 2-0, and they beat Camp Alindo 58-54, having a much better year this year. Last year they were a 500 team. This year they look to be a power in, I believe it's Division 2 or 3, probably 3 for Alhambra. We're ready to go. And Miller wins the tip, tips it back to Domingo, and we're underway.
Yeah, the whole thing is how are they going to slow down Brandy Miller? Nobody's been able to slow her down yet, and here she is working in the post.
Yeah, she's a load inside, and there's no foul on that play. And so Acalanes ahead with their first possession. And there's a foul as that shot was attempted by McPhee. So just to set the lineups for you, for the visiting Dons, wearing the same colors as the varsity boys wore, with the blue and the white trim. This is McPhee at the line. She's joined out there by Cohen, Crutch, Pally, and Peterson. And that rattles in the first point of the ball game. Alhambra, Nahara, Domingo, Miller, Sawanwan, and Conway. McPhee makes both free throws. Matt, our producer, hoping for a quick game tonight.
The boys' game went a little longer than expected.
Here's Miller, spin move. She misses that shot, and it's out of bounds off of Alhambra. So the girls are starting like the boys did.
A little bit rusty, kind of knock off that rust. They'll get it going as the boys did in that second half. They started hitting a lot more shots.
Full court press applied here by the Bulldogs. Broken by Acalanes. This is Peterson. Underneath, a shot missed by Crutch. Peterson over to Cohen. This is Peterson down the lane, a pass, but a travel before the pass.
Thought you wanted to go to the hole, Dan, then decided to pass, and just a little bit too late, and that caused the turnover. And let's see a little full court press here by the Dons to see how effective this is. And they break off it very quickly.
They look specifically to pound the ball inside to Brandy Miller. That's their number one option. But Domingo, who just took that shot, can also serve them up from the three-point range. Misses that time, though. Acalanes quickly in transition. Ahead, Cohen. Back out on top. And now to Peterson. This is Pally, and then to Peterson. To Cohen, open for a three. Missing. And the rebound is pulled by Abby Cohen.
Yeah, Ali Conway, another one of the big bodies here.
Excuse me, that's Ali Conway. Check that.
For the Bulldogs. Do a nice job rebounding, Dan. They can do a lot on the post up, and they can also score a little bit on the perimeter as well.
I knew that the Conway-Cohen thing would throw me at least once in the game, and it has. 2-0 here with 6:05 to go. first quarter. Second game of our doubleheader. Peterson fires from 3, no good. Miller inside. But the foul is on number 24 for Acalanes, KJ Crutch, who's the rebounder. She's just a freshman.
Yeah, and she actually got the worst of that, and still the foul was called on her, but she was going body to body with Brandy Miller, and she ended up on the deck, and it's a foul against the Dons.
The home run play deep to number 30. That's Sawanwan. Please, can I call her Tanea?
Well, she's pretty graceful. How about the Swan?
There you go.
Use a little nickname. Molly with the miss there.
Yep, and the rebound pulled by Miller. Pretty quick pace so far in this one. Nahara, Sawanwan from 15, no good.
Nice setup that time. Sawanwan was open in the corner after the feed, couldn't hit the shot.
There's the score, and that's pretty much how the boys' game started. We just 7-2 after the first quarter, Tony. You weren't here yet, I don't believe. And there's good defense underneath by Miller. And here's Nahara, who comes out of the pack with it.
Yeah, Miller gets that block, starts the fast break the other way.
Domingo wanted the 3, pulls up, and now to Nahara from about 15, no good. Miller the rebound, the putback is no good. And so Brandy Miller a little cold at the outset of this one.
Yeah, nearly 20 points a game, doesn't miss too many of those.
Cohen throws the pass behind number 22, McPhee, and it's out of bounds. And there's some of the crowd that's hung around here for, that's one of the sisters. Is that Sawanwan's sister?
There's some relation to somebody.
Somebody's sister, but I... Yeah.
Boy, tough pass in time that time. Trying to go over the top of the defense. That wasn't even close.
McPhee, a 3. Rebound pulled by Conway.
Boy, you know, McPhee, see that foul there. McPhee can handle the basketball. She'll also substitute in for the point guard at times, Dan. But so far, a lot of these the players are settling to that outside shot. And for the most part, it's not falling for anybody right now.
And there wasn't a lot of really great outside shooting in that first one. I started to wonder if maybe it's the lighting. You know, it's so dark in here. You mentioned it. It's almost romantic. It's so dark in here. If the lighting isn't throwing off some of these people, and I mean, you just have to wonder because the shooting has not been good in either game.
It couldn't help, that's for sure.
Domingo, though, that time dispels the myth.
She can hit it with a blindfold, though.
Well, this is also her home gym, so maybe she's a little bit more used to it. And there's an over and back violation as Peterson was forced into the backcourt.
You know, Molly forced that time. As Sabrina Domingo playing good defense. There we are. How you doing? Good afternoon, good evening.
3 turnovers each in the varsity game. 40 turnovers in that game, Tony.
That's it.
Wow, that's it.
More turnovers than a bakery.
There you go. We use that one.
Are you? Oh, sorry.
We also use more turnovers than Enron and more turnovers than Steve had another good one too.
There's a foul. Domingo drawing that foul.
Yes, that's Scott Murphy. He's a first-year head coach.
But I'll tell you, how about what kind of success he had at the JV level in those 3 years? Excellent run there, and now he's heading up the varsity squad. And they've had 5 different head coaches here in the last 5 years, so they're trying to settle down into something more specific. And now a timeout call.
And he basically does it his own. Now, that's Terrence O'Kelly, who had a cup of coffee in the NBA with the Utah Jazz, played with Karl Malone. They called him the postman.
Did they?
Yes.
I've heard of him.
That's what Mike Abusi told me. Also on the bench, Lisa Caniglio, assistant coach for the Alhambra Bulldogs. I was mentioning Coach Murphy does it by himself. He doesn't have an assistant. And he's a superintendent at a driving range. He works from 4 to noon. So he's got to be at work at 3:30 in the morning. You get those courses ready out there in Pleasanton.
Talk about the success of the JV level. In the 3 years with the JV, 45-3 in league.
Wow.
Very impressive.
Very. Cane Pod Combat Airsoft, where the elite will meet in Antioch. They're going to sponsor the next 4 minutes of our broadcast here. 3-2, Alhambra on top. Nice pass, that time entry pass by Conway down low.
And Miller picks up the foul, draws the foul, I should say. She'll go to the line. That time Allie Conway being patient, getting the ball on the outside, dumping it into their money player, letting her work on the post, and now she'll shoot foul shots here for the Dogs.
Well, Acalanes lost Emily Banville, Pierce Curtis, Christy Marshallonis. You might know her father, Sharunas, who played for the Warriors. Miller makes the free throw, and Kelsey Barclay from last year's team.
And also Erica Auer, who's on this team, was hurt a game ago, has a slight tear in her ligament in her knee, and she's actually going to be back in a couple of weeks.
Both free throws hit by Miller, 5-2 Bulldogs.
I think this Bulldog team, Dan, they're 10-2. They've lost 2 games, both to the same team, and everybody else, they're pretty much roughing up around this league.
That's Pally with a miss. Ball on the floor, pulled away by Conway. Acalanes won a state championship back in the 90s. Casey Rush, now at Granada, was the head coach back there. Of course, our colleague Clay Callum was an assistant coach at Acalanes under Casey.
There's Sabrina Domingo with the miss.
This is Cohen. Good defense that time. Sawan won, but the Dons control, and then the shot is hit by the freshman, KJ Crutch. No Crutch needed that time, Tony. Domingo, nice pass and a foul as Conway was wide open, found a nice lane and converts, and she'll have a chance at a three-point play here.
See if they can convert this. There's Allie Conway trying to knock down this one.
7-4 Alhambra, 2:49 to go first quarter.
Molly Peterson checking back into the game here for the Dons.
Some discussion going on here between the officials. I don't know if it's on the substitution or the possession arrow, but that's always a good one. The possession arrow is always a good argument in any game.
That gets messed up pretty much every game,
really
at least
does.
once.
Free throw missed by Conway. But a turnover and then out of bounds off of Acalanes. Good hustle play that time by Katie Gricius. And we talked to her dad, Bill, who was a legend at Pittsburgh, 1973, scoring record setter at LMC early in that school's history. And Sabrina Domingo looks like Bill Gricius there with a long shot.
Yeah, actually made her second one from outside. Knocked down one from the near side and now one from the far side.
Underneath the Crutch, nice play in transition and the basket.
Peterson picking up the assist that time with a good pass.
Here's a long pass. Nice play by Conway to tip it off at Don. By the way, Mike Abusi wanted me to point out that Bill Gricius has a PhD, a Pittsburgh High School diploma. They actually give that to Acalanes. Maybe her foot was on the line on that.
Well, actually, Conway knocked it out of bounds off a Don's player, but then before hitting out of bounds, it bounced off her foot.
Well, that's a good point, Tony. Thank you. 2:11 to go first quarter. Peterson is open for a three, and she hits it. Wow. There's already more threes in this quarter than there were in the varsity boys game, which is the hallmark of good girls basketball, that outside shot.
Nice defense from the backside that time to tip it away. Don's on the break.
10-9, and they can go ahead, and that rolls off the rim, and the rebound is pulled underneath by Mariana Ayers. Ahead to Conway again. Conway's kind of been in the action down there low in the last 2 or 3 plays. In that time, it goes out of bounds off her again.
Yeah, that she can get up and down the floor. Not able to control the pass that time. Ball goes out of bounds. But you can see the way the Dogs are hustling up and down, trying to work both sides of the floor tonight.
Alhambra man defense here in the first quarter. Number 32, by the way, is Ellie Cohen, which is Abby's younger sister and a freshman.
I believe they're going to get a foul here against Allie Conway or Brandy Miller. Going to be against Allie Conway. Here's Molly Peterson.
See, they always do that, too. They have to do like Ellie and Abby. They can't do Elizabeth and Brandy or something like that, where they're just totally different names. It's Ellie and Abby, and they look exactly alike, and they have the same color hair, and their numbers 32 and 33.
Just so we get it mixed up
so
more
I
than
can
once
mess
in
it
a
up
game.
as bad as possible. Peterson makes the free throw. She has 4. There's a good look at Molly.
And Molly, they tell me, is the team leader of this team. Not only the leader in scoring, but also their emotional leader on this ball club.
Look at that, 10, 10, and number 10 at the line.
Wow, that is spooky.
That is. Now it's 11, so that ruined that quickly. Peterson with 5 and a foul.
You know, Molly was all tournament in the Alameda tournament, Dan. Played very well there, had a 15-point game, had a 24-point game in that tournament. With some accolades coming her way during the course of this season. Acalanes kind of struggling a bit, Dan, just coming in at 7-6, but 1-1 in league, so the league's up for grabs right now. A couple of teams.
Miramani is the favorite.
2-0, rather.
Yeah, Miramani obviously the favorite in this league.
Well,
and Northgate as well. Well, Northgate beat Miramani the other night. I think Miramani was picked to win it, but Northgate had an impressive victory over Miramani on Friday night, so now Northgate probably the favorite, but those are the top two teams.
The Broncos are also 10-2 and 2-0 in league right now, so they're having a very fine season.
Oh,
again.
What a move by Miller, but she misses, gets her own rebound, misses again, and the rebound pulled by Crutch.
Boy, the move was great, Dan, but the shot a little bit too strong both times coming off the glass.
Number 5 is Katie Brazzoni, who we have yet to see. Now, it's either her brothers or her cousins.
Two brothers,
it's
actually.
Brothers that played at Acalanes football. One's at Cal.
Joe and Ted, right?
I don't know if it's Joe, but it's something like, it's close to that. So 1-1, put that one in her first bucket. I know Ted's one of them. I forget what the kid that played this year. He was a lineman.
Yeah, Joe and Ted.
Is it Joe?
Both started at Acalanes some years back.
One of them, maybe it was a cousin now. The cousin played this year on the team that we did in the playoffs. You know, I know they're related somehow. Brazzoni is not a common name out there. Not too many Brazzonis out there. But a lot at Acalanes playing sports. 12-11, Alhambra. Domingo pulls up and fires from 14. The rebound comes down to Nahara. And taken away by number 32, Ellie Cohen.
Nice transition defense by the Dogs. Sawangwan getting back there defensively to slow things down, and now a jump ball.
Jump ball, defensive blue.
So it's Acalanes ball out of bounds with 12.6 seconds to go in the first quarter. 12-11, Alhambra. The boys' game won by Alhambra 54-45 in overtime. They were down by as many as 13 in the second half, came back to win that game, had a very good overtime period. Nice shot that time. Dropped in by Brazzoni, her first bucket. And that could be the last attempt here, although Domingo gets up quickly, fires a long three off the front rim at the end of the quarter. 13-12 Acalanes. We'll be back with the second quarter after this on Comcast.
I got one.
Quick, reel it in.
Hey, look, it's already marinated.
No, it's dead and it's covered with oil and grime. And you don't marinate fish.
It's dead, but why?
Because of that guy. He's dumping his used oil and filter on the ground next to the Delta.
Look, here comes Mr. Funnelhead to save the Delta. No, the world.
Hey, stop that! Don't you know that by dumping your used oil and filters into the Delta, you're destroying our water supply? Too many gallons of used oil and sewage have already contaminated our waters. And even though the average used oil filter looks empty, it still contains up to a cup of used motor oil. Take your used oil and filters to a certified used oil recycling center where they can properly recycle the oil and filter for a better tomorrow. Call 1-800-NO-DUMPING or check out our website at www.funnelhead.com.
Back at Alhambra High School, the second game of our doubleheader, the Acalanes Dawn girls lead 13-12 over Alhambra. Leading scorers in the first quarter, Sabrina Domingo with 6 to lead Alhambra and 5 points for Molly Peterson. Tony, 12 turnovers already in this game, 52 for the night, and we're well on our way to a 80 turnover game.
Well, it's off to a bit of a slow start, but they'll pick it up, and they almost turned over there, just as I say that. But sometimes we watch these games, Dan, it just takes them a little while to get things together.
Wow, Sawangwan floated that one in from about 20.
I'll tell you, between Sawangwan and Domingo, they've got the outside covered pretty well. That should open up things in the middle for Brandy Miller and Allie Conway.
Freshy Air Systems Incorporated in Antioch, our sponsor for the next 4 minutes of tonight's ball game, for all the heating and air conditioner needs. And Steve Sanchez heartily recommends them in Antioch, and so do I.
When you take a look at the DFL standings.
Go ahead, Tony.
Alhambra 10-2 at 2-0, and then there's that Northgate you talked about. They're doing very well.
Sawan
Again from outside.
a bomb. She has 2 threes. She has 8, and it's 18-13 here in the first minute of the second quarter.
And you talk about Miramani, Dan, 8-4, 1-on-1 so far in league. But I believe they've won the DFL last 4 seasons in a row, and traditionally a power here in girls basketball.
Rose Pally underneath, her first bucket of the night.
Rose Pally can do some work for you in the post. Does have a couple of moves. Can only go one way, Dan. They're trying to work on that with her to make her a more complete post player. Right now it's pretty much all to one side.
Inside to Conway. That was too easy.
Boy, I'll tell you, Domingo, or actually Sawangwan with the entry pass that time, and that was perfect, Dan, right over the top of the defense. Made that shot very easy indeed.
They're doing it without Brandy Miller tonight. Not that she's not out there, but she only has 2 of the 20 points. Oh, there's Brandy Miller defensively.
She does have 3 blocks now on the game.
Yep, she'll pick it up somewhere. Here's Domingo. Baseline, pull up about a 10-footer, no good. Tough shot that time.
Almost got a little bit too far behind the basket. Made that one a very tough angle, and here's Peterson the other way.
Working the perimeter, the Acalanes Dons here, down by 5. Cohen to Crutch. A couple of freshmen there. And a double dribble as Crutch kind of got crossed up there. She came around. Would look like a pick attempt and lost control of that one.
Well, KJ Crutch, the freshman that you talked about, Dan, providing good scoring off the bench and already playing varsity basketball here. That says a lot. Not too many freshmen get a chance to play at this level, but she's doing it and also contributing to this ball club.
Number 21, Sarah Clancy, reports for Acalanes. She's out there with Peterson, Pally, McPhee, and number 4, Jillian Smith, a 5'11" junior, and now out for Alhambra with a couple of substitutions. You still have Miller and Conway out there with Sawanwan, also Nahara, and number 3, Mariana Ayers.
Look at that Alhambra game log, Dan. They've lost just in 2 games, and both those games were to St. Patrick's St. Vincent of Vallejo. And the one team they had trouble with, but everybody else they've taken care of pretty handily.
This is Ayers. Miller from 18. Wow, that was pretty.
That's a 3-point shot.
Maybe even 19, because she was right. I thought she was in front of the arc. She was actually behind it. So a 3-pointer and 5 points for Brandy Miller.
You know, it shows the multifaceted game that she has, Dan, because she's one of the best post-up players in the league, and there she can step out and hit the 3 as well. Makes her a very dynamic player indeed.
Over and back on that play.
The last couple of possessions, the Dons having problems handling the basketball. They turn it over again.
Don't forget to purchase your copy of this game. UPS shipping included, $25. Call 933-6264 or send us an email at gameoftheweek@comcast.net.
You know, Mike Abusi told me that in one of those games against St. Patrick, he was trying to press a very active team, and he really said it was his fault for that loss. He took the whole blame there, saying that if he would have changed up a little bit earlier, they would have had a better chance to win.
Miller went to the hoop. She was fouled by Pally, her second personal. 7th team foul on the Dons, and Miller, who's already hit 2 free throws, misses that one. So she has 2 or 3 from the line, 5 points for Brandy Miller. Makes the second, 6 points for Miller, who had 34 in their victory over Campolindo Friday night.
Yeah, Brandy only hitting at 46% from the foul line. So not one of her strong points of her game.
Good defense that time by Miller. They work it underneath the Pally, into the paint.
That was a nice,
Smith.
that was a nice switch that time, Dan. Excuse me. Miller went out to defend, and Allie Conway was right in the post to make sure Pally didn't have an easy one.
Inside to Conway, and she's fouled, I believe, by McPhee.
And Becca Nahara that time with a nice entry pass. We're seeing the Bulldogs do that very well, Dan, and that's a tough thing to do, especially at this level, is to get that pass into the post with precision. And so far, we're seeing Alhambra, when they do it, they're doing it very well.
Conway makes the free throw, has 5 points, and here in the this quarter, 13-3. Excuse me, 2. 13-2. is the scoring so far. Alhambra kind of pulling away in this one, now up by 10 and 11 as Conway has 6 points. And she's a sophomore, so she's going to be the big player in the middle next year when with Brandy Miller graduating this year. Smith to Peterson, and Peterson misses the layup. Conway pulls the rebound. Conway and Miller that's a load. You're not going to get much in the paint against Alhambra.
Not to mention that both of them actually have some skills too.
Absolutely.
Not just big bodies, but they can actually do something with the basketball and do something with their footwork when called upon to do so.
And as we saw, Brandy Miller drains a 3. So tough team. No wonder they're 10-2.
If they go back to that 2-3 zone here, Dan, see if they can keep everything on the outside.
Long shot by Clancy is missed.
And Sawawan with a nice box out there to collect.
You just wanted to say it, didn't you?
As long as I don't have to say it 3 times fast.
Hertz Equipment Rental in Pacheco will sponsor the last 4 minutes of the first half here tonight. This is one of our new things, Tony. We got a little graphic up there for our great friends of the program.
All right.
That way we don't have to bring up all the continual ads to just remind you, but we want to thank all of our great friends of the program and ask you to patronize them regularly and oftenly, as Steve would say. That's right. I said regularly, he said oftenly.
Oftenly, well.
Just as a little tribute to Steve. Shot missed. Miller the rebound, the putback, and that you can't allow that because she's just going to kill you underneath if you let her get rebounds like that.
No, but you see some of the quickness there, Dan. She can get off the floor just a little bit, just enough to grab that rebound, but a nice explosion toward the basket to grab it and then put it home.
8 points, 5 rebounds for Miller in the first half, 28-15. Acalanes has 1 bucket here in the second quarter. Another miss, rebound by Ayers.
And you see what that zone defense is doing to Acalanes, and they pass it around a little bit, and then after a while, they run out of patience, and they say, well, we're trying to get the ball into the post. We can't do so. We'll just take the outside shot. And so far, they're 0 for 2 in the last couple of possessions.
Miller with a little English that time. 10 points for Miller, 8 here in the second quarter, and Coach Murphy calls timeout with 3:01 to go. Second quarter, 30-15, an 18-2 run here in the second quarter for the Alhambra Bulldogs.
Yeah, that first quarter ended 13-12 in favor of Acalanes. In the second quarter, it's been all Bulldogs. Take a look at our winter schedule.
And Tony, you'll be at De La Salle next week for a big soccer matchup. Clayton
Valley and De La Salle.
Yep. With one of your
Roger Brothers.
Is it Roger Brothers?
Roger's going to be doing the color commentary. Does a very fine job. Always got plenty to say.
And then,
De La Salle obviously always competitive. Clayton Valley's got a good team as well. We saw De La Salle a couple of weeks ago when they won a 5-0 battle that we saw. I believe over Ignacio Valley.
Then in a couple of weeks, Deer Valley, the girls at Carondelet. Clay Callum will be here for that one. Of course, and now the coach at Bentley High School. He was once an assistant coach at Acalanes, won a state championship here. And then, of course, in February, we'll have some soccer for you and some basketball as we head down the stretch. And then in the spring, we'll have baseball and softball for you. And the big names to look out for this year, especially in softball. There's the guys in the truck. There's Metal Matt with Joel and all of his crew in there. Johnny Wu doing a great job. But Amanda Williams is a senior now at Freedom. Of course, she's going to the University, I believe, of Arizona. I think she finally picked. I know she was talking Texas or Arizona, one of the two. But anyway, great pitcher, 4-year starter at Freedom. We'll have one of her games for you and some other great baseball games. You know, De La Salle, Miramani, Antioch, Clayton Valley, always really good in the baseball season.
And you talk about some of these players moving on, possible scholarships. Brandy Miller, one of those, Dan. There she comes up with yet another block. It's got to be her 4th of the ball game now. She played a marvelous game defensively and a steal.
Good steal that time that's Abby Cohen back in the ball game, the junior. Peterson, good fake, pull up from 12, no good. Long rebound off of Brazzoni and out of bounds to Alhambra.
Well, after Alhambra gave up that steal, Dan, they did a nice job getting back defensively, not give up the easy shot. And if you're Acalanes right now, you want to make sure to hustle back down the floor when you have a chance to break, because they're finding it very tough to get the ball inside right now. They play a triangle offense, Dan, the famed triangle that the Bulls played and the Lakers play.
Right.
And when they come down the court, the first thing they do is they look to flash the ball into the post. But so far, with those two big bodies in the post, they haven't been able to work that angle at all.
Miller triple teamed and then triple elbowed.
Sort of wrestles everybody out of the way that time.
And I think they called Peterson for a holding foul.
Yep. But Brandy Miller, I understand, has a 3.5 grade point average, Dan. And Idaho State and Oregon State interested in her services after her high school career is done. You talk about some of the great games that she had also against Monte Vista. She had 25 points and 12 rebounds in that game against the Mustangs.
One of the big problems also here for Acalanes, same as in the boys game, 10 fouls to 2. So now Alhambra for the next 206 shooting 2, even though Miller missed both of those.
But I'll tell you, putting Brandy Miller on the line, not the worst scenario for Acalanes. As I said, she shoots under 50% as it is.
30-15. Acalanes still looking for its second basket here of the quarter. That little flip shot doesn't go. Finally, the putback by Jillian Smith, her first bucket, and it's 30-17.
Now Jillian Smith, they say that she is the best post player on this ball club. Didn't have to use a post move, but was able to get inside with that rebound.
Miller fights for another ball, loose ball, and it's a possession arrow to the Acalanes Dons with 1:30 to go.
And this Dons team, they played Miramani a while back, Dan. They hit 7 3-point shots. So they can do some things on the outside, but they try to go inside to outside, and when that inside is cut off, all of a sudden the shots on the outside not quite as open as they normally would be.
Pally forces a pass inside to Peterson, and it's out of bounds, so another turnover.
And a nice overplay by Sawangwan to force that tough angle pass. And Tanea did not touch that ball.
9 turnovers, Tony. Go ahead.
9 turnovers. Tanea did not touch that ball on its way out. So the Bulldogs will get it.
Miller gets the pass at half court, 1:10 to go, drives all the way to the basket, and just a little too much on that. And another loose ball.
This time the Dogs will have it on the possession arrow after the jump ball call.
Conway in, and I would assume Miller to rest for the final minute here of the second quarter with a 13-point lead.
18 points scored in this second quarter here by the Bulldogs, and they've done it outside, they've done it on the inside. And when Acalanes has had a couple of opportunities, Dan, to run, the Bulldogs have done a nice job getting back and preventing the easy basket. So right now, Acalanes searching for answers.
Domingo, a long three, rattles in and out, and Sawangwan gets the rebound.
Well, I'll tell you, they better guard her on the outside, and she's already hit 2 from out there, and that one nearly went down as well.
Yeah, they have 5 threes in the ball game.
Now, when you have, Conway and Miller on the inside, you want to concentrate so much of your defense in the middle of the floor. Sometimes those flanks get open. Nice cut.
Yep, Conway misses the 2-footer. The putback is no good. Gets another rebound. The putback good. So Conway has 8.
It's pretty tough to stop her when she's already standing right near the basket like that. Ball keeps coming right back to her.
She has 7 rebounds, including about 6 on that play, Tony.
Here's a foul at the other end. Well, certainly too many extra chances, but like I said, when she's down on that low block right there, it's tough to move her out. When the ball keeps coming down like that, chances are she's the one that's going to get it.
That's Ellie Cohen, just a freshman. And she will be attempting to score her first points of the ball game here. 15-point lead. But she misses the free throw. 35 seconds to go in the first half. Stick around at halftime for you. We'll have some highlights and stats of the first half. The boys game tonight, Alhambra 54, Acalanes 45 in overtime. Jordan Fillmore, though, for Acalanes had 30 points in that game, Tony.
Boy, does he have a basketball body or what? Athletic, tall, kind of lanky, but looks like he's got some skills too.
Out on top to Ayers, 20 seconds to go here. Domingo, another 3 attempt, no good. Long rebound and a foul on number 33, Stephanie Kruda, as she bodied one of the Dons off the ball there, but little too much body.
Too much of that body. Draws the foul, draws the whistle, I should say. But you see the way Alhambra can move that ball around in, and they can get the open outside shot when they want it, and we know they can post up very well. So a multifaceted offense here for Mike Abusi's Bulldogs. Well, Pally almost traveled.
Peterson, a 2. Her foot was on the line. She has 7, and they've cut it to 12. And that'll be the last shot attempt here in the first half. 32-20, Bulldogs over the Dons at halftime. We'll be back to wrap up the first half after this on the Comcast Game of the Week.
Hi, I'm Rob from Central Tune-Up. Check this out. Oil filter crusher. Did you know that every drained used oil filter that comes off your car still contains up to a cup of used oil? That used oil can destroy our environment and water supply. Do the right thing and place your used oil filter in a clear Ziploc bag and place it on the curb with the rest of the recyclable items. If your city does not have curbside used oil recycling, take it to your nearest certified used oil and filter recycling center. Call ahead for hours and the amount accepted. What more, if all the oil filters that were sold yearly in the United States were recycled, you would have enough steel to build 16 pro sports stadiums. Be good to the earth. Recycle your used oil and filters for a better tomorrow. Call 1-800-NO-DUMPING or check out our website at www.funnelhead.com.
For decades, Dolan's has been providing the finest quality name brands for new construction and home improvement. Superior names like Marvin, Anderson, Milgard, Posey, and more. But it's Dolan's low truckload pricing and tradition of superior customer service that makes this retailer preferred by builders, architects, and homeowners throughout the community. Visit your nearest Dolan's and discover how affordable the very best can be. And join Dolan's in supporting your local teams.
Get ready, Northern California. Mazay Pontiac Cadillac Buick GMC has a huge selection of new and certified pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. Mazay invites you to experience our superior service and selection. Our new state-of-the-art facility and team of experts will make your car buying experience the best in the Bay Area.
Hi, I'm Matt Mazay. Whether it's a Cadillac Escalade or a GMC truck, I'll guarantee you the right car at the right price. Come by and see us today.
Discover the difference at Mazay Pontiac Cadillac Buick GMC in the Century Auto Plaza, Pittsburgh.
Looking for quality equipment rental with a helpful, friendly staff? Hertz Equipment Rental of Pacheco has over 4,100 pieces of reliable equipment to choose from, ready for delivery. Or if you're looking to purchase equipment, check out our pre-owned equipment sales list for super bargains on well-maintained pre-owned equipment. With Hertz, you have the right tool to get the job done. That's Hertz Equipment Rental at their new location, 30 South Buchanan Circle in Pacheco. Call Hertz today, 925-680-0316.
It doesn't matter what sport you play. It doesn't matter what position you play. It doesn't matter whether you're turning pro or just starting out. It doesn't even matter how old you are. If you want to maximize your potential, you need Velocity Sports Performance. Velocity Sports Performance. Maximize your potential. We guarantee it.
Is your laptop or home computer driving you crazy? Paramount Technology of Concord has the answers. Located behind Tower Records in Concord, Paramount Technology has it all. Quick in-house laptop repair and servicing, mobile computer service calls, and great customer service for those wishing to have a computer made to your specifications. Your computer wizards with expert service and products for today's computer world. That's Paramount Technology of Concord at 1252 Diamond Boulevard in Concord, the computer wizards of Contra Costa.
Welcome to Clayton Mind and Body Connections, located in charming downtown Clayton, California. Our massage therapists have combined experience of over 25 years. We offer a variety of body treatments to detoxify and soften the skin and to de-stress and deeply relax the whole person. Our esthetician offers a selection of facials that address various skin needs from deep cleansing to acne control. A touch of Napa in Clayton.
Hi, I'm Rocco Bialy, and I'd like to welcome you to Rocco's Ristorante and Pizzeria here in Walnut Creek. Rocco's is a great place for family dining. In addition to serving the best pizza in the East Bay, Rocco's also serves many classic Italian pasta specialties. Make Rocco's your home for your next team party. Great pizza, great pasta, great people.
Rocco's!
A part of your community.
Back at Alhambra High School at 20-7, second quarter has the Bulldogs on top 32-20. Dan Wall and Tony Schultz here in our second game of our doubleheader. The first game won by the Alhambra boys, and looks like a doubleheader sweep unless Acalanes does a little bit more defensively here, Tony.
Oh, yeah, a lot more defensively, Dan. And on the offensive end, they're going to need to take advantage of some easy opportunities. That hasn't been there very much, but when they get open opportunities, especially open shots on the perimeter, they're going to have to stick them.
Well, you mentioned they run that triangle offense. They haven't been able to force the ball in. Peterson hit a shot late. Maybe they're going to have to send the ball back outside, and you have to admit, once you get outside the perimeter of their defense, they don't have really big guards.
No.
So you could shoot over them. Maybe they're going to have to rely on the outside shot to get back in this one.
You know, also the backcourt defense by Alhambra is very good, and of course that interior defense is good too. And when they come down that triangle, Dan, they want to go into the post. If the post is not there, they want to go out to the wing. But so far, Alhambra's been up to that task. When they go outside, they're out there to cover it. When they go inside, they're in there to cover it as well.
Brandy Miller, 10 points, 5 rebounds in the first half for the Bulldogs. 8 points each for Sawan and Conway, and 6 for Sabrina Domingo lead the Bulldogs. 7 points for Molly Peterson and 4 for KJ Crutch. We'll be back with the third quarter after this. At halftime, it's 32-20 Alhambra.
Tonight's Comcast Game of the Week is made possible in part by a generous donation from the 19th Hole Casino at West Tregallis Road. Established in 1967, the 19th Hole has been completely renovated. Open 7 days a week, they feature Texas Hold'em, No Bust 21 Blackjack, Lowball, High-Low Splits, Pai-Gow, and provide Keno and lottery sales. Every Tuesday and Wednesday beginning at 5:30 p.m., it's a no-limit Texas Hold'em shootout with winner-take-all. Friday and Saturday night is karaoke at 9 p.m., and Sunday at 9 a.m. is the NFL ticket on all the 14 TVs. And come play in the Sunday no-limit Texas Hold'em tournament. That's the 19th hole behind the post office in Antioch. There are 2 types of airsoft players, the well-equipped and the targets. GamePod Combat Airsoft provides one of the largest selections of airsoft inventory in the U.S. From beginners to advanced players, GamePod has it all, specializing in competition-grade airsoft guns and accessories, tactical gear, BDUs, hydration systems, accessories, night vision, and the all-new Raptor fast attack vehicles. GamePod, where the elite will meet. Brendan Theaters of Concord and Pittsburgh, featuring 14 screens of movie magic. All theaters have Lucasfilm THX digital sound systems and stadium-style seating. The prize wheel spins weekly with great prizes. The Prize Patrol, promotional events, and other activities happen monthly with great giveaways and prizes. Check out the Brendan Theater website for more information and great savings ideas. Enjoy the movie. Thanks again to all of our friends from the Comcast Game of the Week.
Back at Alhambra High School, the halftime score, 32-20 Bulldogs. By the way, you know, we have a lot of great equipment here, Tony.
Right.
I don't know if you've noticed that, but here's some of the, we've just added to our equipment. The Dave Jackson honorary table is what that is right there.
That's beautiful, isn't it?
I'll tell you.
Wow. Talk about fine furniture.
That Matt, he's a heck of an actor.
What a comedic actor he is, isn't he?
You know, I've never seen him and Mr. Funnelhead in the
He's
same
a regular
picture.
Buster Keaton.
I'll tell you. I'm starting to wonder after that. Peterson hits a 3 to get us started here. She has 10 points.
And a nice way to start the second half here for Acalanes.
Dolan's Lumber is our sponsor for the first half of the third quarter. Brandy Miller, nice
the entry pass again is great. Sabrina Domingo making it that time, and that time Brandy was moving, sort of rolling toward that outside just a little bit, dumped it perfectly over the top of the defense. And again, that's like 3 or 4 times that we've seen them execute that entry pass perfectly into one of their post players.
But once again, Miller misses the free throw. So she's missed 4 free throws tonight.
We're just 1 of 5, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 1 of 5, missed 4. Right. Okay, yeah, very good.
But not over 4.
And now 1 of 6.
So I'm telling you, Dan.
Actually, she's 3 of 8. She's hit 3.
Okay, I'll tell you that maybe that's the better part of their better way for their defense to go, and that's Fowler when she's in the post.
McPhee inside the defense by Conway, but a foul.
Look at the expression on Allie's face, like, who, me? I was just standing here minding my own business, and she jumped into me. And here's McPhee, Dan, MVP of the Redwood Classic. Scored in double figures in each of those ball games out there.
She has 3 points tonight, and they've cut it to 8 here.
And then when she does go to the point guard, Dan, she can present some problems for the other team because she stands at 6'1", and most opposing point guards are quite a bit smaller than that. So sometimes she can be that matchup headache when they choose to run her at the point guard spot.
Domingo runs the show from the top. Inside pass, Miller, turnaround from 10 is short, and the rebound is pulled by Pally. So they can cut it to 5. It's 32-25. 6:55 to go third quarter. Pally from 15, no good. Miller the rebound.
Wide open from the elbow that time, Dan. Nobody stepped up to defend that shot. She's got to be able to hit those outside shots when they present themselves.
Domingo inside to Miller. Miller, nice that time, but did not get the roll. Gets her own rebound, and the shot is blocked out of bounds.
Nicely defensed that time on the inside. Rose Pally, number 11 there, among others. Doing a good job trying to shut down Miller on the inside. Unfortunately for Acalanes, the Bulldogs maintain possession here.
Looks like the bat cave in here. And that is out of bounds to Acalanes. So once again, a turnover.
Yeah, this has got to be one of the darkest. Now, it looks fine on our screen, our camera work, because all our great equipment produces a nice picture. But I don't think I've seen a gym this dark before.
It looks like when we used to sneak into the gym and practice with the lights out, is what it looks like. 7 rebounds for Miller tonight, 4 offensive. Also, you know, we're going to have to talk to some pastry chef or something to get like a turnover sponsor after tonight's game. Where are we at now on turnovers? Actually tied at 9, each team 18. So on the night, 58 turnovers in these 2 games.
That is a whole lot. Now, some of those are good defense, though. Some.
Absolutely. There's a turnover. That's actually just a mistake of life is what that is. I'm sure his parents are wondering after watching that highlight, what did we do to that child? He's a Rams fan. He hangs out at them rock concerts, and he can't sit up at the table. Here's McPhee. Drive pull up from 12, and wow.
Nicely done by McPhee. And you can see that she does have some skills, Dan, able to flash down there to the low block, stop, pull up, and hit the shot.
32-27. Cut it to 5 here. They had a 12-point lead at halftime. They have not scored here. 7-0 run for Acalanes to start the quarter. Miller traveled. She reversed pivot and
didn't put that ball down quite quick enough. And another turnover.
Yep.
There's Coach Murphy. And of course, I'm sure the Don's very happy, Dan, to get a coach that they think is going to be here for a while.
Peterson drives and misses. Sawan with the rebound. Ahead to Nahara. And now they'll set up here with 5:34 to go, third quarter. Up by 5. So both games have been fairly competitive here tonight, Tony, after some slow starts. Miller uses the glass and banks one in.
Boy, Pally was right there. They had a double team, but a nice spin and a pretty shot off the glass for Miller that time.
12 for Miller, 7-point lead for the Bulldogs, or the Dogs as they're called here in Martinez. Peterson, a long three, air ball, no good. Rebound, Pally. Out on top, McPhee swings a pass to Cohen. Cohen drives on Sawan. This is Crutch out on top, and now back to Peterson. 5 seconds on the shot clock because they haven't hit the rim.
Do they know it?
I don't know. Nice pass inside. Crutch uses the glass. 6 points for KJ Crutch, the freshman.
KJ Crutch, just a freshman, Dan. 8 points, 14 rebounds, 10 offensive rebounds back on January the 6th against Las Lomas. So she can certainly put it in the hole and do a lot of damage off the glass as well.
Nahara in the lane, misses.
Looked like Peterson may have gotten a piece of that ball. All of a sudden, after a very sleepy second quarter for the Dons, they've awakened here in the third.
Peterson, 16-footer, and Conway pulls the rebound.
Now, Sawan, after that pick, she was right there defensively to force that bad shot.
Sawan, long three, no good. Long rebound pulled by McPhee. So Alhambra now a little cold from the field. They've only scored 2 points here in the third quarter after Acalanes went a long time in the second quarter with just 2 points. And it's out of bounds to the Dons. And Mariana Ayers will return to the ball game for Alhambra. Brentwood Dodge Chrysler and Jeep will sponsor the next 4 minutes of the third quarter. Thanks a lot to everyone out there for jumping on board. Yep, Clark and the gang out there. Good deal on a Dodge, Chrysler, or Jeep.
Check it out. They've got the deals for you.
What is it? Everything's got to be Rams something with Metal Matt, doesn't it? He's a big Rams fan. Peterson, 15-footer, no good. Sawan the rebound, ahead to Domingo. 5-point lead for Alhambra, 3:41 to play, third quarter. Cross-court pass, Domingo. Inside to Conway. One-on-one to the hoop. That was easy.
And nice ball movement that time, Dan. They went side to side. Allie Conway just sort of posted up there in that low block on the near side. And with that ball movement, they were able to get that ball into the post very easily that time. And here's a steal.
Sawan to Ayers. And now the other Bulldogs will join up here. Inside Conway, nice entry pass and another conversion. She has 12. Her and Miller both have 12. They have 24. They have a 9-point lead, and they're unstoppable really in the paint.
No, Pally was right there defensively, Dan, but again, the entry pass is so good, and when you have the good post players that the Dogs do, just makes it very tough to stop, and they're starting to get some mileage out of that post game.
Well, Alhambra's now in a zone defense. Pally will try a long three. No good. Nice rebound, Cohen. Puts it back up left hand, no good. Biller in the paint, pulls the rebound ahead to Ayers. It's 1-on-2 and now 2-on-2. Ayers to the hoop, and she's fouled by Peterson.
Well, a good quick rebound there, Dan, and a really nice outlet pass to get that break started. The Dons did a nice job to get back, but because of that good outlet pass off the defensive rebound, now the Dogs will be shooting free throws. So you're seeing a lot of the facets of Brandy Miller's game. Outside shooting, post play, defense, rebounding, and now, of course, the outlet pass to sort of make that break happen.
Ayers makes the first. That's her first point. The third foul on Peterson. And a couple of substitutions for Acalanes. Jillian Smith and number 15, Grace Appert, for the first time tonight for Scott Murphy. Ayers makes both free throws, and now it's up to an 11-point lead, 40-29 after that slow start here in the third quarter for Alhambra.
Yeah, Acalanes had whittled that lead down to, I believe, about 5, making a nice comeback. But again, Alhambra is starting to resume control here as his third quarter winds down.
That was McPhee. Saved to Peterson, but they have to remember they did not hit the rim, so the shot clock continues to run. Now 10 seconds. McPhee to Cohen. Swing to Peterson. Peterson for three, no good. Peterson fights for and gets her own rebound. Now they have a new shot clock with 2:04 to go in the third quarter.
Talk about following your own shot. That's why they say follow your own shot, because you'll have the best chance to get it.
Nice pass to Appert. Good defense, though, by Alhambra. That three is missed by Cohen, but another offensive rebound, and then a steal by Ayers. Ayers ahead, 2-on-2, goes to the lane, tipped away by Cohen. Nahara picks it up, and then on the ground is Jillian Smith, and there's a foul.
Some good hustle back and forth there. Acalanes down on their offensive end here. Several extra chances that time, but couldn't make anything happen. And then we saw that interior defense by the Dogs so good, they keep forcing everything back outside, and right now Acalanes cannot hit that outside shot.
Waiting to see who that foul was on. Maybe it was they didn't announce a foul, it looks like, on that play, so maybe it was just a travel, but a turnover nonetheless. Acalanes with the ball, down 11. Smith, Brazzoni back in the ball game, and that's another turnover. Here's Sawanwan ahead quickly, waiting for the trailers. Out on top to Domingo, they'll set up. Swing, Sawanwan inside, nice pass to Miller, beautiful.
Boy, that time both defenders went out to Sawanwan fearing that she was going to hit another outside shot. They left Brandy Miller wide open on the inside. Sawanwan picks up the assist.
Brazzoni tipped away. This is McPhee to Brazzoni. Corner Cohen. Shot missed, tipped by Conway, and then Conway, strong, pulls the rebound.
And Dan, that's the one they have to have. When they get those open shots, and they're not getting very many, but when they get them like that, they have to make those count because they're few and far between.
That's Nahara, a long shot, no good. Cohen the rebound, ahead to McPhee, to the hoop. Rolled that one in. So McPhee has 8, 42-31.
And a nice looking dribble drive there by McPhee after taking that pass. Put the ball on the floor, made a couple steps, and a nice little flip to get the basket.
16 seconds to go, third quarter. 11-point lead for the Bulldogs. Miller is fouled.
So 2 more shots here for Brandy Miller, but so far, Dan, that hasn't been the worst thing to happen to the Acalanes defense tonight. Let's see if Brandy can make these count.
And she makes the first. She has 15. 5 here in the third quarter. Claire Jacober, her first appearance, a junior. And number 15, Grace Appert, returns to the bench. So Miller will rest here for the final 12 seconds. She has 16 points. And Acalanes has one last chance to cut this lead back to 10. At the buzzer. Nice attempt that time by Cohen, but that'll do it for the third quarter. 43-31 Alhambra. We're going to take one last break. We'll be back with the fourth quarter after this.
Since 1980, Fresky Air Systems Incorporated has been keeping Contra Costa cool and comfortable. With an expert crew of technicians and staff, let Fresky be your indoor comfort professionals. Our Lennox Signature home comfort systems are designed to deliver efficient and economical air and heat for your individual needs. Air conditioning to heating, duct cleaning to emergency service calls, Fresky has you covered. From the homeowner to the commercial world, Fresky Air Systems Incorporated. Reliable and trusted service since 1980.
What is a coach? A teacher, a motivator, a leader, the person who sees your athletic potential and maximizes it, regardless of the sport. At Velocity Sports Performance, you train with a highly qualified coach every time you train. Your coach makes you work hard, but your coach makes you a better athlete. Train with a coach who knows. Velocity Sports Performance. Maximize your potential. We guarantee it.
Back at Alhambra High School, fourth quarter. The Bulldogs 43 and the Acalanes Dons 31. High scorer for Alhambra, 16 points for Brandy Miller. 10 points for Molly Peterson leads the Dons. I think, Tony, I think Acalanes tried to get a little bit more outside shooting going there in the third quarter. It worked early, didn't work towards the end when Alhambra made their run. Velocity Sports Performance will sponsor the first 4 minutes of the fourth quarter.
Well, here's Brandy Miller back on the free throw line, Dan. See if she can't make these count. Shot him a lot better that last trip to the foul line that she had earlier in the ball game.
So Brandy now with 17 points and the fourth personal foul on Peterson.
You got to figure if you're a strong post player, Dan, you're going to get your share of fouls. And if you don't make those foul shots, the opposing team is going to continue to foul you more and more. And
they do that kind of like with this guy that's coming to Oakland tomorrow night. What's his name? It rhymes with
O'Neal?
Rack, Tax. Yeah, Shaq, that's him.
Well, that's pretty much the philosophy.
Pull up a baseline jumper by McPhee is missed. Peterson corrals the rebound. Forces a shot that's no good, and Conway has the rebound.
And right now, that dog defense is just doing a nice job on those perimeter shooters, Dan. And then when Acalanes tries to go down inside, there's too much defense there as McPhee knocks it away. There's
Ali
Coach
Conway,
Abusi.
yeah, there he is. 10 rebounds, by the way. Just wanted to point that out. Coach Abusi, he's a funny guy. He's a fun guy to talk to.
I want to thank both these coaches. They're very accommodating, Dan. When I go in there looking for some information, need a little bit of their time. Not a problem at all.
And a good coach, by the way. Conway misses the inside jumper, but then fouls.
And you talk about what a good coach
Crutch.
Coach Abusi is. Dan, I believe 9 out of the 10 years that he's been here, they've made the NCS. Just missed it last year when they finished 13-13 overall. But he certainly had his share of success and a perennial playoff team here in Alhambra.
And this year, well on their way back to the playoffs. Ahead here by 15 over Acalanes. You'd have to think their main competition in this league would be Miramani and Northgate. We talked about that.
Dublin's also having a good year.
And Nahara fouls Peterson on that shot. That's her first personal foul. And Peterson, who has 10 points in the ball game, will go to the line.
Somali, 61% from the stripe.
Makes the first free throw. Want to thank our great crew out here tonight for a doubleheader duty.
Hey, look at Molly shooting 53% from beyond the arc this year. I don't believe she's made one so far tonight, and that's a testament to how good the Alhambra perimeter defense has been this evening.
46-33 here. 13-point lead for Alhambra, 6:38 to go. Swing a pass to Domingo, inside Miller. Miller double team, but that doesn't seem to bother her.
Not at all.
And after all that, she cleans it up and adds her 19th and 20th points of the ball game.
You know, she can move around pretty well, Dan. She flashed from the strong side over to the weak side, or actually vice versa, but she can actually move to get herself in position to accept that pass. And then once she gets the pass, as you said, the double team doesn't really bother her at all.
And a travel. One more rebound for Miller, and we'll have 2 double-doubles in this game because Miller has 20 and 9, and Ali Conway has 12 points and 10 rebounds.
Yeah, those are their 2 big guns.
Purchase your copy of this game, UPS shipping included, $25. Call 933-6264. Ask for Metal Matt. He's probably putting together one of them CC Rock shows or something. Or email us at gameoftheweek@comcast.net. That's a nice shot by Domingo. That's her first basket since the first quarter and her first 2-pointer of the night.
Sabrina Domingo, big contributor here to this ball club, makes a nice move to finish it there.
Pally from 14 misses. And there's Miller's 10th rebound. So 2 double-doubles. It sounds like In-N-Out Burger here.
I'll take the double-double combo.
And there's Conway. And she can add some fries to her order here from the foul line. 3rd personal foul on that Dawn as I'm waiting for the call. It's a gameofweek.com. Don't forget www.gameofweek.com. Visit our website for schedule highlights, news, and more.
Actually, no shooting on this one. They're going to say this foul is on the floor, Dan, and the Dogs will have it from the baseline.
The foul was on Crutch, her 3rd personal, as we mentioned. fifth team foul. This is number 10, Brianna Felix, who's a sophomore in the game.
Well, and so long one, I've been telling all night about how good the entry pass has been into the post. That was one of the first bad entry passes in the post we've seen, and it results in a Bulldogs turnover.
Katie Samuelson, number 20, is also out there, and she's a freshman. They're going to have some decent players coming back next year, even though they lose Miller and Nahara. Yeah. The rest of their starters are all coming back. There's a miss on the baseline by Clancy and out of bounds. As a matter of fact, Ayers, Nahara, Miller, and Auer, who's injured, are the only 4 seniors on Alhambra's team. They're going to have a good team next year as well.
So a backcourt pressure. Let's see if the Dons can force some turnovers here. So Longwan across midcourt.
That ball out of bounds.
And there is a turnover.
Yep, to Acalanes. 4 seniors on the Acalanes roster, but 3 of them, Peterson, Pally, and McPhee, are important players to Coach Murphy. So he'll have to rebuild a little bit, but still has some pretty good talent left on his roster as well.
But we know the JV's been good for several years, so maybe they can fill some of that void with some of the younger players coming up.
And there is close to another turnover, but did not happen as the shot goes up from Brazzoni, and the rebound is pulled by Miller, and she keeps increasing her total.
I believe that's 11 for Brandy now.
50-33, 4:27 to go. So it looks like Alhambra's going to win their 3rd league game and go to 11-2 on the season, barring a Acalanes comeback here.
And that would make it 5 out of 6 for the Dogs if they can hold on to this lead.
Peterson misses. The ball's on the ground. And it looks like a jump ball here, and the possession arrow pointing towards Acalanes. Laura Lazzarini in the ball game for Acalanes, so it looks like we're going to have to learn some new names, as always, Tony, and the back end of a one-sided score or lopsided score.
Brendan Theaters, movie magic in Concord and Pittsburgh.
Steve says Hostel's too scary for him. I don't know. Yes,
freaky.
It's scary. Yeah, it's
I saw Syriana, not a bad film.
I want to see Munich.
Can't wait to see that one.
Yeah, 23 in the ball game is Jacober. She misses. Clancy inside to Pally, and they play a little game of catch. There's that triangle, inside and then back out and swing the ball. That's the triangle offense.
And that's the first time we've actually been able to recognize it tonight.
I know. That shows how far behind we are.
Well, but it's a testament really to the Alhambra defense, Dan, because they really haven't allowed Acalanes to get into that type of offense that they wanted to get into.
Rocco's sponsors the last 4 minutes of this ball game. That's Samuelson with the miss.
And thanks for the crew meal tonight. That Greek pizza, not bad. A little feta cheese. Very good.
Yeah, tonight's crew meal was spectacular. This is Clancy. McPhee goes baseline, and she's fouled by Samuelson as she goes to the basket. 50-35, 15-point lead, 3:08 to go.
Pretty move by McPhee that time. Nice footwork on the baseline. She was actually behind the backboard, Dan, made a little skip move and then got up toward the rim and then drew the foul and see if she could make them count with the free throws.
She averages about 9.5 points a game. And tonight, if she was to make these free throws, she'd be right at her average. She has 8.
73% from the foul line on the year, so she's doing well from that spot.
You can't really call Brandy Miller and Allie Conway the Twin Towers, so we're going to call them the Twin Flowers.
They don't really play above everybody else because they're not super tall, Dan, but they have strength and they have moves.
That's right, but you have to add that little bit of, feminism into that,
Sure.
So since they're girls, so we'll call them the Twin Flowers. How's that? That'll make them feel
pretty.
good. Yeah, it's very
Very
nice.
pretty, Dan.
Yeah, Rocco's has a sports bar going in with plasma televisions, and that'll be fun to go. And you can eat some pizza and watch sports. There's a steal and a turnover and a foul on number 23, Katie Gricius, who's back in the ball game. 50-36. This one's not over yet, Tony. It's just 14 points. And sometimes you get the subs in, and you don't know if your subs are better than my subs. And I've seen some weird things happen.
But the only way that weird thing is going to happen right now is if Acalanes can start sticking some shots. And they don't have too many trips down the floor, Dan, that they can let get away at this point. And not to mention, on the other end, defensively, they're going to need some stops and some quick stops. They're not going to hopefully not let Alhambra run time off the clock on each possession. Let's see if they set up the full court press here. They do.
having a hard time in the backcourt. This is Gricius. Good pressure by Acalanes. Down 12 with 2:51 to play. This is Ayers, and a foul. And it's on number 32, Ellie Cohen, who's back in the ballgame.
I believe there's no 10-second rule in girls basketball, so no time limit as far as getting across the timeline other than the shot clock. But Acalanes obviously did not want the foul there because a new shot clock here for Alhambra. Near turnover there, Dan.
And a foul. So things are kind of getting messy out here.
Getting messy because Acalanes is trying to force the action here. And these last couple of times they have not been able to force the turnover from Alhambra. Now we have a timeout on the floor.
Well, you know, it's interesting in a way, Tony, because you could really legitimately make a case at this point, as we remind you that Nazareth, after the game on CC Rock, and the 5th personal on Molly Peterson, so trying to get the stats in, you're only down 12. You only need 4 threes, and you still got 2:43 to play, and the subs are in for Alhambra. I'd be out there with my starters going, girls, you know, pressure them.
Take those shots.
Take the shots. We're not that far out of this. It's not like it's a 50-point lead. But I give credit to Coach Abusi for putting his bench in and getting them some time.
Taking a look at Mariana Ayers there.
Little shot put show before the shot there for her, and they're all from the foul line. 52-38. Clancy, a long 3 is no good, and the rebound is pulled on the far side. I think that was Gricius. Here's Samuelson ahead, and a foul. The foul's on Lazzarini.
That time Alhambra trying to push the ball up the floor as quickly as possible, looking to break that time. Lazzarini got back there in good shape defensively, but couldn't avoid committing the foul. And it looks, for all intents and purposes here, the Bulldogs on their way, Dan, to their 11th win and a 3-0 league start here for Alhambra.
Samuelson makes the free throw, 53-38.
Alhambra.
No, I was going to say, Tony, it's hard to believe after 3.5 hours and 40-some-odd names and man. 54-38. Samuelson has 2 here. There's Coach Abusi.
You talk about a big matchup coming up on the 13th, and at Miramani, the Dogs will take on the Matadors for DFL supremacy.
There's a nice left-hand put back by Jacober, and she's fouled.
Nearly a 3-point opportunity. The ball just did spill off the cup. And looking ahead, then Alhambra will take on El Cerrito. And then they'll take on Drake out of Marin County. And I'll have the Drake game Friday night in Marin as they take on the San Marin Mustangs. And then a big game coming up against Dublin here for Alhambra. That on the 20th. Dublin having a very fine year in the DFL as well.
Jacober makes the second. Her first point, 54-39. Good backcourt pressure by Acalanes. Worked the ball to Felix. Ahead, and this could be another turnover, and a good save that time, but dribbled off the foot of Stephanie Kruda and out of bounds.
Yeah, Mariana Ayers double teamed here in the backcourt, Dan, made a nice little jump flip pass to sort of get out of trouble, but then the Dogs turn it over at the other end anyway.
Here's a 3-point attempt for Jacober. The rebound pulled by Jacober, followed her shot nicely that time on the ground. There's been a lot of this in the last 2 or 3 minutes. Another long 3, missed, rebound, tipped, and out of the pack comes Kruda. That's a blocking foul. That's an offensive foul?
They're going to call offense here against Mariana Ayers.
I think that was a blocking foul.
Didn't look like anybody was set on that play. Take another look here.
Well, I don't know. That's kind of an in-betweener, but usually that goes against the defender.
It usually does. Sarah Clancy did not have position there, Dan. Certainly did not beat the offensive player to the spot.
Clancy, a 3 is no good. This is one of the things that we talked about, and probably one of the reasons why they haven't tried a lot of 3s, is they're not really that good of a shooting 3-point team. They only have 1 in the game. Now, the Acalanes of the past would have been lighting this place up with some of the shooters that they had.
It really plays off their inside game, though, getting those outside shots. And because the inside game hasn't been there, when the ball goes outside, those perimeter players just are not open.
Travel. We've seen just about every violation, foul, and play situation here in the last 3 minutes. Minute 23 to go, 54-39. Brentwood Dodge, Chrysler, and Jeep in Brentwood. One of the great friends of the program. There's Jillian Smith from 15, no good. Rebound pulled by Samuelson. This is Kruta. Nahara's back in the ball game, and another offensive foul. We've seen it all here in the. I think Wayne Davis wants to get his money's worth on that last call. Not that it was wrong, but you know.
And he's got that whistle, he might as well blow it.
Yep, he's going to use it here in the fourth quarter.
15-point game or not, if he sees a foul, he's calling one. He doesn't care if we want to get home to watch the Shield.
And that's exactly where I'm going. Clancy misses, a putback by Brazzoni, misses. And it's just nutty. It's nuttier than a hot fudge sundae out here right now, Tony.
Kind of going back and forth here. A lot of whistles blown in the last couple of minutes. But a comfortable lead here for Alhambra. Looking to move on to 11-2 and drop the Dons to 7-7. And the Dons would drop to 1-2, Dan, in league. And that can be kind of tough when you're chasing 3 teams in the DFL.
AL.
DFAL.
Thank you. Here's Samuelson. Could hear a pin drop in this place on that free throw. You thought it was for the World Championship.
It's like we're at a golf tournament.
Under a minute to go. Brazzoni will fire a 3. That looks good, and it is. Brazzoni finally hits a 3.
Brazzoni from outside. I think that's what their second 3 they've hit tonight.
54-42. Felix bumped and then throws a pass out of bounds. It's off of Samuelson. As I told Steve, I've seen weirder things happen. This game, I'll never forget it. Warriors up by 5. 8 seconds to go. Chicago inbounds quickly. Garfield heard from the corner, 3 hits. Warriors throw the ball away. Garfield heard from the corner, hits. They lose. 106-105. 8 seconds left. So I never leave until it says zeros on the clock. I've seen it all.
Well, that sort of reminds me of the famous Pacer Nick game with Reggie Miller in the playoffs many years ago.
3 threes in the last.
What is it? Half a minute or something like that?
Something like that, yeah. You can do it. It just doesn't happen very often. That's the point. Well, you know, anyone who was at, and I was, at the infamous Miracle on Manchester hockey game between the Kings and Edmonton when the Kings scored 5 goals in the third period in a playoff game and won in overtime, knows never to leave. You just never leave.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes in sports we think at times, Dan, they get predictable. Then every now and then they surprise you and remind you why we like sports.
I've seen some crazy stuff happen, so I never leave, and unless I might leave in an April Giants game, but an important game you never leave. You never know what'll go happen. Samuelson now with 3 with 27 seconds to go. 13-point lead for Alhambra.
They really took control in that second quarter. They lost that first quarter 13-12, Dan, but really took charge of this game in that second quarter. Defense a big part of that. And really they've just outpaced the Dons ever since, even though the Dons did make a bit of a run there in that third quarter. But just too much Bulldogs here tonight for Acalanes.
This is Pally to Cohen. Cohen wants a 3, can't get it. 12 seconds to go. Pally will fire a 3, no good. The rebound is to Samuelson. Samuelson's played pretty good since she came into the ball game. She fires one at the buzzer, and that'll do it. And that wraps up our doubleheader. A sweep by the Alhambra Bulldogs. The girls win 56-42, and we'll be back to wrap this one up on Comcast after this.
Since 1980, Fresky Air Systems Incorporated has been keeping Contra Costa cool and comfortable. With an expert crew of technicians and staff, let Fresky be your indoor comfort professionals. Our Lennox Signature home comfort systems are designed to deliver efficient and economical air and heat for your individual needs. Air conditioning to heating, duct cleaning to emergency service calls. Fresky has you covered. From the homeowner to the commercial world, Fresky Air Systems Incorporated. Reliable and trusted service since 1980.
For decades, Dolan's has been providing the finest quality name brands for new construction and home improvement. Superior names like Marvin, Anderson, Milgard, Posey, and more. But it's Dolan's low truckload pricing and tradition of superior customer service that makes this retailer preferred by builders, architects, and homeowners throughout the community. Visit your nearest Dolan's and discover how affordable the very best can be. And join Dolan's in supporting your local teams.
Back at Alhambra High School, Dan Wall, Tony Schultz, Matt Bolander, Dave Jackson, our great crew. The doubleheader sweep for the Alhambra basketball teams. The boys won 54-45 in overtime in our first game. The girls 56-42 in our nightcap. 20 points for Brandy Miller tonight. And as soon as Dave Jackson hands me the stat sheet, I'll tell you that she had
a lot of
11 rebounds in the ball game. Conway as well. 11 rebounds. So a good game for them. She had 12 points. 8 points tonight for Sabrina Domingo. 8 for Tanea Sawanwan, just because I wanted to say it again. 4 points for Mariana Ayers and 4 points for Katie Samuelson. 56 for Coach Micah Boosie's Alhambra Lady Bulldogs, who are now 11-2 on the year, 3-0 in league play. And you mentioned they have a big game at Miramonte on Friday night. Acalanes was led by Molly Peterson with 12 points. 8 points for Lindsay McPhee. 6 points tonight for KJ Crutch. 3 points for Katie Brazzoni, and then 2 for Jillian Smith, Rose Pally, Laura Lazzarini, Sarah Clancy, and 1 each for Clara Jacober and Ellie Cohen. 42 points for Scott Murphy's Dons, who are 1-2 in DFAL play. Tony, a final comment?
Well, the Bulldogs, trying to erase the memory of not making the playoffs, picking things up where they left off from the year before. And all the years since Micah Boosie's been here, Dan, just one of the best teams in the DFAL, and they're one of the best teams right now in that league.
There's a little cutie out here tonight, future player, as we wrap this one up from Martinez. And we like to say goodnight to all the great friends of the program who help us bring you high school sports all throughout the academic year. Tonight's Alhambra Acalanes doubleheader on Comcast has been brought to you by these great friends of the program. And I see that we got our CD player to work again. That's great. Comcast Game of the Week, Rocco's Ristorani and Pizzeria in Walnut Creek. Contra Costa Clean Water Program and Mr. Funnelhead. Brendan Theaters. You can see Munich.
Can't wait.
Yeah. Additional friends, Brentwood Dodge Chrysler and Jeep, the 19th Hole Casino and Lounge, Images of 3 Hair Salon, Paramount Technology, Rock Bottom Records, Antioch Opticians, and the New Mecca Cafe. Next week, Tony will be in for a soccer game at De La Salle High School between Clayton Valley and De La Salle. I'll rejoin you in 2 weeks as the Deer Valley Lady Wolverines take on the Carondelet Cougars in basketball action. For Tony Schultz, Dave Jackson, Matt Bolander, our great Comcast crew, this is Dan Wall saying goodnight from Martinez. Alhambra wins both games. The girls win the nightcap 56-42. This has been a high school sports production brought to you by Comcast and Walnut Creek. Until next time, good night, everyone.